Is Medify worth the money? This is a question which is on a lot of people's minds when they are thinking of buying a course to prepare for their UCAT. Some people buy a book, or some people look online for these courses. One of the most popular options, I think it is the most popular option, is the Medify UCAT 2021 online course, or 2022 for next year. So this cost me £120 in total in the end, something like that, because I paid £90 for the 4 months and then had to buy an extension. It ended up costing around £120, which is quite a lot of money compared to like a £20 book or the free resources that you get on some websites. So is it really worth all that money? So that's the question I'm going to be answering in this video. So I'm going to be talking about what you get in this Medify course and how this Medify course compares to the real exam and how the mocks compare. So first, I'm going to talk about an overview. So here's like your home screen. Medify shows how many questions you've been doing each day, shows your overall percentage in each of these sections. And here's the main 3 sections that you've got. So you've got your learn. So here's some videos explaining different aspects about each section. I didn't actually use any of this. I might have watched 1 or 2 videos, but it might be useful. I didn't do those. I just went straight onto the practice. So this is where you might spend most of your time. And you can choose which section you're going to practice, and you choose whether you're doing untimed or timed, and you can set a time limit. It's pretty straightforward. There's loads of questions. You could not worry about running out of questions because there's so many. In total, there's around 26,000 questions, including the mocks. So you won't be running out. I spent over 100 hours doing Medify questions, and I only managed to get 11,500 done. So now onto the mocks. There are 21 mocks here, and in each of these mocks you'll have the standard 5 sections, and it'll give you a score for each section and the band for your situational, and it'll show you how many seconds you're spending on each question, see if you're running out of time at the end, and see how you compare to other people who did this mock. And you've also got mini mocks. So this is like it's like doing a section of the mock without doing the other 4. So you can just do verbal, or you could just do decision making. So in total there's 40 mini mocks and 21 mocks, which is actually quite a lot. It's like 42 hours worth of mock exams here and some more mini mock stuff. And that's really good practice, since when I went into the real exam, it was like the 20-something time I did a mock test, or I did the UCAT test, so it didn't feel like a shock for the timing of stuff. You'll get used to it. So now I'm going to talk about the difficulty of questions compared to the real exam. So in verbal reasoning, I found that it's harder in Medify. So this is mainly due to one reason: the text being longer. The texts are longer in Medify, so it's harder to find the answer, whereas in the real thing, the texts are much shorter, so it's easier to find the answer. Next section, decision making. Decision making, I found that it's quite, actually it's very similar to the real exam. The questions are basically the exact same style, same difficulty. I think it's quite easy to replicate the style of questions they're asking. Okay, so now quantitative reasoning. I think quantitative reasoning in Medify is a little bit easier than the real exam. Like in some of the mocks, I was getting some quite higher scores, and in the real test, I got a little bit lower, and this because the questions were a bit harder. That's all there is to say. And for abstract reasoning, I'd say it's about similar. I got very similar score in the real exam, and I'd say the difficulty is about the same. And finally, for situational judgment, I'd also say the difficulty is about the same. I was quite consistently getting band 1, and that's what I got in the real exam. And the style of questions asked was pretty much the same. So that's all there is to say, really, quite quickly. And now I'm going to answer the question, was it worth the money? Was it worth the £120 that I paid? Well, I would say it is worth the money if you use it to the fullest amount possible. If you use this Medify course a lot and you make the most of your money, then it'll be worth it. There's no point spending all this money and not doing the questions. If you've done over 10,000 questions, you will definitely see progress. So I'm going to show you some of the progress that I tracked on some Excel graphs. So here I can see how I did across the 21 mocks. So initially I was only getting around 2,400, 2,500 mark. But then as you go along here from mock 7 to around 7 onwards, I'm quite consistently getting around the 2,800 mark. And then towards the end, I even got a couple above 3,000. So you can see, you're not instantly going to see an increase in your score. It takes time for you to get better. And you'll go up and down, but overall, you will go up. And on each individual section, you can see, here's a nice graph for abstract reasoning. Over 40 practice sessions on each section, each session here, I did around 55 questions and seeing what percent I got right. And you can see I go up and down initially, but over time you can see that my percentage is increasing. So it can take up quite a bit of time of practice for your scores to be increasing, but you have to be patient. You might go down, but overall you will see a trend, a general trend upwards. Also, I want to add that when you're doing the practice questions, it does come up with the solutions at the end. So what I did was I'd do some practice questions, and then at the end, see which ones I got wrong and see why I got them wrong and read through